The Circuit de la Sarthe is a semi-permanent motorsport race course, famous worldwide as the venue for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the most famous endurance race in the world. It is over 13.6 kilometers long, making it one of the longest circuits in the world. Due to its very long straights, around 85% of the lap time is spent on full throttle, putting immense stress on the racing cars, making endurance races even more challenging. In the 1920s, racing cars used to drive straight into Le Mans before exiting the city again near the Huisne River. This configuration of the racetrack was nearly 17.3 kilometers long and completely unpaved. In 1929, the city was partially bypassed by shortening the track, and in 1932 the city was entirely bypassed. This configuration was 13.5 km long and remained almost untouched for over 2 decades, until disaster struck the 24 Hours of Le Mans during the 1955 edition, when 83 spectators and French driver Pierre Levet were killed in a horrific crash on the front straightaway. In response to this accident, the Automobile Club de l'Ouest, the race organizer, made several track and infrastructure improvements. The pit straights were redesigned and widened. The pits complex was torn down and rebuilt, giving more room to the teams. However, the racetrack and pits were not separated for another 15 years. The grandstand at the finish line was demolished and rebuilt, with a wide ditch between the spectators' area and the racetrack. Car speeds continued to increase in the 1960s, and the old Le Mans track became subject of criticism due to its poor safety standards, proved by several fatalities in those years. In 1965, a smaller permanent track, the Bugatti circuit, named after car designer Ettore Bugatti, was built, and is still used to this day in several motorsport categories, including MotoGP. This track shares the pit lane facilities and the first corner with the Circuit de la Sarthe. It is a 4.2 km, 13 meter wide permanent circuit, made up of 14 corners and a longest straightaway of 674 meters. Today, this facility can comfortably hold up to 100,000 spectators, who flock to the racetrack, especially during the MotoGP weekend. In the 1968 race, the 4th chicane was added to the Circuit de la Sarthe before the pits to slow down the cars around the pit area. In 1971, Armco barriers were added to the main straight to separate the track from the pit lane. The following year, in 1972, the track was resurfaced and was modified again, with changes to the pit area and the addition of the Porsche curves. In the late 70s and early 80s, further changes took place on the track due to the construction of a new public road and roundabout. As a result, the second Dunlop bridge was removed and the length of the track was extended in order to avoid the new roundabout. In 1990, the legendary 6-kilometer Mulsanne straight was divided into 3 shorter straights by 2 chicanes. Before then, turbo-engine cars had reached speeds of around 400 km an hour on the straight, forcing the FIA to step in and slow cars down for obvious safety reasons. The FIA had said that they would not homologate a circuit with straights longer than 2 km, hence the need to add the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight before the Arnage curve. In 2002, the run to the S's was reconfigured, following the renovations to the Bugatti circuit carried out in the same year, when a left-right sweep was added to improve safety for motorcycle races taking place on the Bugatti circuit. The Le Mans circuit was changed between the Dunlop bridge and the S's, with the straight now becoming a set of fast sweeping turns. This layout allowed for a better transition from the Le Mans circuit to the Bugatti circuit. In 2006, A wider runoff area was built around the Dunlop chicane and Tertre Rouge. In 2013, Tertre Rouge was further modified following the fatal crash of Alan Simonsen, allowing for additional tire barriers at corner exit. The track has not undergone major changes since, and in its current configuration it measures 13.6 kilometers and has a total of 38 turns.